Coming up on Citrus TV News, the flavored e-cigarette ban set to go into effect tomorrow in the state of New York has been delayed. Find out why.
And if you're looking to rent a house or apartment off campus for next year, it's getting late in the game. Reporter Katie Lane has more.
Plus, it was another rainy day in Syracuse. Weather anchor Sunny Balkin will tell you when the sun will shine once again. Citrus TV News starts right now.
At 6, your campus news leader.
New York State's flavored vape ban will not go into effect tomorrow as planned. Good evening, I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo.
And I'm Conor Wight. The New York Appellate Court ruled early this afternoon to place a hold on the ban. This comes as a vaping lobbying group sued the state of New York over the initial ban. Both will have to wait to make their case in court later this month.
The ban was slated to prevent the sale of all flavored vaping products except for the tobacco flavor. That would have included the popular brand Juul, but this temporary halt will last until the case is heard before a judge on October 18th. This comes amid a deadly outbreak of lung illnesses connected to vaping, which has left 17 people dead and more than 800 sick. Before the ruling was handed down, we talked to a student about what he will do when it goes into effect.
I'd say it's a blessing in disguise because I no longer have a reason to go and buy pods if I'm not going to have the flavor that I want.
Again, people are probably going to go to other dangerous alternatives because, again, you're taking away that.
E-cigarette companies have blamed the rise in vaping-related illnesses on so-called knockoff vape products. The current ban would only last 90 days, but lawmakers in Albany are expected to try and pass permanent legislation.
And it's that time of the semester when current sophomores and juniors start scrambling to find a place to live for the coming year. Some students will decide to stay on campus, while others are looking to try their luck in neighborhoods off campus. Citrus TV reporter Katie Lane spoke to students to see how this year's rental process was a little different. Katie?
Thank you, Connor. If a student started looking for an off-campus house or apartment around this time in previous years, they were most likely able to find one pretty easily. But this year, that is not the case. Many SU and ESF students started touring neighborhood houses back in August and have already signed their leases.
Apartments and houses in the Syracuse area are already rented out for the 2020 school year, leaving remaining students with very limited options. SU sophomore Kyle Leff says he is struggling to find a place to live.
It's kind of been a train wreck that so many people sign leases so early in the year that we've had so few opportunities of like where to live, and we don't really know what we're doing. And it's just been a really crazy process, and it's been so annoying and so tiresome.
Leff says that while you can still see many for rent signs on buildings or in the ground, the chances they are still actually available to rent are very slim. Syracuse sophomore Caroline Francor says she knew to start looking the first week of September, thanks to advice from upperclassmen.
People in my sorority, it was really helpful because a lot of the upperclassmen had the same issue and it came up really quick.
Leff and Francor are excited to get off campus for their junior year, but this may not be allowed for future third-year students. In a recent housing survey, the university asked if students would be opposed to remaining in campus housing for a required third year. They also provided potential room plans and prices for students to vote on. SU freshman John Eads says he wouldn't be upset if he needed to live in a residence hall for a third year.
I wouldn't mind it, but I know a lot of people, as they get older, they try to live in South Campus or off campus somewhere. So they should have that freedom to do that if they want to, since they're already paying to go here. But I could see why people would be mad about it because they want to live with their friends in a house or something.
There is no word if or when Syracuse will require students to remain on campus for 3 years. Live in studio, I'm Katie Lane, Citrus TV News.
The SU Department of Drama will open its production of the musical A Chorus Line tomorrow with a special preview. The original music debuted in 1975 and had a successful run on Broadway, earning 9 Tony Awards. SU's rendition premieres at the Syracuse stage on East Genesee Street and will run until October 13th. Student tickets are $8. Tonight is the premiere for the movie The Joker, and the Orange After Dark event to see the film at Destiny USA is sold out. The organization says the event is private screening and that only those with a valid SU ID are allowed to attend. Tickets originally went on sale in September.
The fall workshop for the Newhouse School's Visual Communications Department is starting today. More than 80 graduate and undergraduate students will be spending the next 3 days documenting the lives of local Syracuse residents. The workshop begins tonight with a panel discussion on the photographer-editor relationship in the Hergenen Auditorium at 7 p.m. Also on campus earlier this evening, Byrd Library hosted a lecture on the connection between Indigenous peoples and protecting the environment. Robin Wall-Kimmerer is a distinguished teaching professor at SUNY ESF. She spoke today about the concept of justice not just for people, but for the land as well. Kimmerer's background is in botany, ecology, and indigenous environmental issues.
Tonight at 8 o'clock, a panel on fraternity and sorority members will host the Boundaries of Blackness. This is an open forum discussion about people of color to generate understandings between people, healthy discussion of culture, and learning about the experiences that make us all who we are. The panel discussion event, sponsored by Lambda Theta Alpha, will take place in the Hall of Languages in room 500, running from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock tonight as a safe space for people to have their voices heard. And through a partnership between SU, Syracuse Veterans Affairs Medical Center, and national nonprofits, a groundbreaking new virtual reality system has been born for veterans. The VR technology developed by SU Maxwell School alum Chris Meek's nonprofit Soldier Strong aims to aid and treat veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress symptoms. The organization's initiative, Strong Mind, will help other nonprofits. Operation Hat Trick seeks to reduce PTSD, which is considered the leading cause of veteran suicides, and is a great way to keep pushing forward for suicide prevention as it is dedicated. The month of September comes to a close.
Registration is now open for the SU Wellness Initiatives Workshop happening in 2 weeks. The workshop, titled Plant-Powered Eating for Optimal Health, will teach students and faculty the benefits of a plant-based diet. Sessions for the workshop will be held from October 14th through the 17th across campus. Students can register for a session on wellness.syr.edu. Now, I appreciate the need for a plant-based diet, but I gotta say, I don't know too much about that. I kind of need a little meat in my diet. But moving outside the plate to what's going on outside, it's been a bit of an unpleasant day.
So much rain. Not fun to be outside, not fun walking to and from classes or even over here to the studio. You really need rain boots, an umbrella, lots of puddles all over. But let's head it over to our weather anchor, Sunny Balkin, to find out if that rain is going to stick around. Sunny?
Guys, I have great news for you. The rain isn't going to stick around for too much longer. We do have about 48 more hours of some drizzles of some rain, but right now let's look at our current temperatures. 51 degrees, rainy with cold to mild temperatures, kind of that new autumn kind of spooky weather that I've been looking forward to. I don't know about you guys. Now it's high humidity, and we can expect that to vary throughout the week as the rain starts to go away through the weekend and become sunny, a little bit less humid. But let me show you guys tomorrow. Now tomorrow is pretty similar today. We have 48, 49, 48, still that mid to high 40s, very autumnal weather that we've been looking forward to. The temperatures are staying in the high 40s, moderate humidity and clouds throughout the day. We could see some slight showers, but nothing too crazy. Nothing like today where we had a bit of downpour during the afternoon time. Now let's take a look at the CNY current temperatures. We have a lot of 50s across the board, so we're going to see that decrease into the nighttime tomorrow. And you know what? We got pretty lucky today in Syracuse because, as you can see from our weather variation, there were some thunderstorms up near Fulton, and we didn't get any of that. But the good news is just going to simply continue when we get to my full weather forecast and I tell you about our weekend. Back to you guys.
Well, thanks, Sunny. I'm certainly looking forward to this sweater weather sticking around. And Tessie Plastics is considering expanding in central New York. The manufacturing company says it will add around 50 jobs with a $20 million investment in one of its locations in Elbridge, Van Buren, or Auburn. According to the company's president, the investment will allow the company to produce medical equipment for an unnamed client. And a federal court date has been set for the man accused of shooting 2 people in the Chili's in DeWitt. William Wood Jr. will appear in federal court on March 2nd, 2020 in Binghamton, where he'll face 2 murder charges. Wood Jr. has already pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and other charges. If convicted in federal court, he could face the death penalty.
Tony Malavenda is pledging a total of $800,000 of his own money in his bid to become the next Onondaga County executive. The Democrat has now raised more total cash than Republican incumbent Ryan McMahon, though Malavenda only raised $63,000 from outside donors. Election day is on November 5th. And Syracuse men's basketball is gaining another Boeheim. Jim Boeheim's nephew is joining the team. Nick Giancola is joining as a walk-on for the upcoming season. Giancola is a junior in the Newhouse School and is listed as a forward on the SU men's basketball roster. He's also joining his cousin and Jim's youngest son, Buddy, a sophomore guard.
SUNY Oneonta is all clear after a lockdown this week was enacted when a campus threat from a student was reported to a crisis hotline. University police have reason to believe now that the student sending out the distress call had her phone hacked, and the threat of violence stemmed solely from a cybercrime. Campus police say there is no imminent danger, and they are now working with Oneonta Police, Otsego County Law Enforcement, New York State Police, and the FBI to get to the bottom of the hacking. And developer Devin Dalpas wants to build a grocery store and 2 other buildings. The construction project is set to take place on the site of the former O'Brien and Gear manufacturing building in Fayetteville. The goal is to build a 53,000 square foot grocery store. The name of the store hasn't been disclosed. Mayor Mark Olson says the 2 big concerns are traffic and growth of local school districts. In August, the community rejected a zone change proposal by Morgan Management. This new plan does not require a zone change. Coming up, the latest on today's impeachment hearings as the controversy heats up on the Hill.
And a deadly attack killed 4 Paris police officers this morning. We'll have the latest. Stay with us.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch!
Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
We have breaking news out of Baylor University. The Waco Police Department says that a shooting took place just before 6 tonight.
Baylor University is asking students to stay away from the area and seek secure shelter. CitrusTV News will continue to monitor the situation. Former U.S. Special Envoy for Ukraine Kurt Volker appeared before 3 congressional committees today. He provided text messages sent by a top U.S. diplomat to Ukraine, one of which read, quote, "I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign."
In the text exchange, U.S. Ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland, pushed back on Taylor's message. He said there is no quid pro quo of any kind.
Volker was part of what is reported as an encrypted set of messages between the 2 officials. His deposition today will contribute to ongoing impeachment inquiry in the House.
Democratic candidate for Congress in New York's 24th District, Dana Bolter, held a press conference today in which she criticized Representative John Katko's decision not to support impeachment. She says Katko is, quote, encouraging further abuse of power and sanctioning this behavior for future presidents.
Katko has dismissed concerns about Trump's phone call, attacking Democrats for their intense investigation. Also in the area is Democrat Anthony Brindisi, who represents the 22nd District here in New York. He is one of the few Democrats not supporting the impeachment inquiry. President Trump announced in a speech today that he intends to issue an executive order that will expand private Medicare Advantage plans. Trump took several shots at Democrats and their strides towards the government-run coverage plan Medicare for All, saying, quote, they want to raid Medicare to fund a thing called socialism.
The speech was likely an attempt to attract swing voters in Florida for his re-election campaign. Trump also used this time to speak out against the House Democrats and their push for impeachment. The House Judiciary Committee is asking Facebook for internal documents that may provide evidence of unfair business practices by the tech giant. These documents are based on a lawsuit brought by a smaller attempted tech startup. Those include emails from Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg.
This comes as the top court in the European Union rules that Facebook can be compelled to delete content. The ruling states that if a court in Europe decides that content is defamatory, then the company must delete its content not just in Europe, but across the United States as well. On Wednesday, Amber Geiger, a white Dallas police officer that shot and killed a black man in his own apartment after mistaking him for an intruder, was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Some believe the punishment for Bottom Jean's death is too lenient.
The NAACP's president called it inadequate, while a Black Lives Matter activist suggested the punishment would have been harsher if Geiger were not white. However, inside the courtroom, Jean's brother forgave Geiger, and in an emotionally charged moment, the judge embraced the officer.
The latest from France, 4 police officers are dead following a knife attack in Paris police headquarters. According to authorities, the attacker was an IT employee at the police station who worked there for 16 years.
He stabbed and killed the 4 officers before another officer shot and killed him with a rifle. A spokesperson for the police said that the attacker never showed any previous signs of violence or distress. And the European Union legislators have reviewed UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Brexit plan and have a simple response: it won't work. They say that the deal will not win the necessary unanimous support of all 27 member states of the EU.
The primary issue is the border between the Republic of Ireland, an EU member state, and Northern Ireland, a member of the United Kingdom. Johnson's plan calls for customs checks as Northern Ireland would leave the customs union. Irish leader Leo Varadkar says the plan falls short and that neither Ireland nor the EU wants custom checks on the border. Coming up after the break, how long will this rain stick around? Weather anchor Sunny Balkin is in studio with that answer.
And a classic car game just got a little bit more accessible. Don't go away.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
And we're back, guys, and we're still here with this rain that just doesn't seem to be going away. I have good news for you as we find out a little bit later. It will be going away over the weekend, but right now let's take a look at what the Northeast has been facing. Now, there's a lot of green on this map, especially in the New York, Massachusetts area, but you can't quite see if that's covering Syracuse. So let me give you a bit of a closer look. Yeah, that is definitely covering Syracuse, and we felt it all today. A lot of rain coming down, a lot of rain into the evening that we're going to be seeing. However, that will clear up tomorrow a little bit. It'll be a little cloudy, nothing too terrible, and maybe a few scattered showers. So I am proud to say that we are going to be putting the outdoor activity outlook at That's right, a high. And that is because when we take a look at the week on Saturday and Sunday, that's 59 degrees, 67 degrees, and those are both bright and, well, a little bit of rain on Sunday, but nothing too terrible, both pretty sunny days. And it's National Do Something Nice Day on Saturday, so go out and do something nice. And I think that's the best way that we could support having that one nice day in the week. Back to you guys.
And coming up after the break, find out how a local boxer is giving back to the Syracuse community through the sport he loves. We're back in 2 minutes.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. I'm Sam Rothman. Ray Rinaldi is a boxing legend here in Central New York. He's even in the Syracuse Sports Hall of Fame. And now, Ray's using his experience to help local kids fight poverty, one punch at a time.
And they all say the same thing, Ray saved my life.
For decades, kids in Syracuse have been telling Ray Rinaldi just that he has saved their lives by keeping them off the street and instead in the ring. Ray, who is now 90 years old, is the founder of the Raise Kids program at the West Area Athletic and Education Center. Children come straight here after school and stay for hours to box.
It's a second home to me.
Faisal is just one of the 7,000 kids who has trained in this gym at no cost since it first opened in 1994.
You gotta understand, these are kids at risk. They don't have a chance.
But Ray, along with his nephew, Coach Chris,
1, 2, 1, 2,
give them that chance in a city where nearly half of all children lived in poverty last year.
If they have a safe haven, even if it's somewhere for 3 hours a day, they can get away from the struggle their parents are going through.
In general, kids don't know how to really express themselves and how to release all, not only anger, but tiredness, frustration.
In order to release that anger, kids sometimes fight in school. Surprisingly, though, boxing, a sport which is all about throwing punches, actually helps stop that violence.
The same kids that have fought in the schools like that, they don't do it here. They actually become friends.
It helped me out to just spill it out all here.
Kids like Faisal can now focus on what they actually go to school for, an education. Faisal will be graduating with an advanced Regents diploma, a feat that only 8% of Syracuse City School District students achieve.
We've had kids that take it out of games, okay? They got them through Syracuse University. That's how far they come.
And for these kids, this program is so much more than just boxing.
Kids all the time will come up to me and say, hey, you know, this is kind of weird, but I view you as like another parent. And I say, good. I said, that's why I'm here.
It's more like a second family. And by the way, these kids are pretty good boxers too. Coach Chris told me they've had over 20 national champions. Now from the ring to the rink. The 2019-20 NHL season started yesterday, but tonight 2 New York teams hit the ice for the first time. The Buffalo Sabres kick off their 50th season down in Pittsburgh as they take on Sidney Crosby and the Penguins. And for the Rangers, it's the fans' first look at Kaapo Kakko, the #2 overall pick in this year's draft, as the Blue Shirts host the Winnipeg Jets. It's also a welcome home for New York Rangers president John Davidson. The former goalie spent 8 seasons in the Big Apple. Puck drop for both games is set for 7. While the Rangers have a new head man, the New York Mets are now looking to replace one of theirs. Today, the team announced they have fired manager Mickey Callaway after the Mets finished 3rd in the NL East with an 86-76 record. The second-year manager still had 1 year left on his contract, but New York has missed the playoffs each of the past 2 seasons. So the Mets season's over, but the Yankees are still rolling on into the playoffs. No game tonight, though, for the Bombers. They'll play the Twins tomorrow. Here are the games tonight. Cardinals and Braves squaring off right now. The Nationals and the Dodgers get started after that one. Tonight is Game 1 of the NLDS for both teams. And when we come back, one final look at your weather. Stay with us.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Now we have Citrus TV weather anchor Sonny Balkin back with us. Now, what I'm understanding is that we're only really going to get a little bit of good weather this weekend.
Ooh,
what do you think we should do with our limited amount of time in the sun?
Well, with that very, very short day on Saturday, I personally recommend it's going to be about 61 degrees. Apple picking is going to be just perfect. That is the right. It's just the right move is to go apple picking. The right time. But you know what? It's not all bad. Let's take a look at our 5-day weather forecast. And I can tell you that, rain isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it waters our plants. All the trees are dying, but that's besides the point. So we have rain on Thursday, a little bit of rain probably on Friday. Saturday's going to be a nice autumn day. Sunday, that rain is going to start coming back. You can kind of see the sun peeking over the little rain cloud graphic. But on Monday and Tuesday, we're going to really get drenched, so to speak. And on Tuesday, we might even see some thunderstorms. So prepare for that, guys.
We will. Sonny, thank you so much. Now, we do have the perfect thing that you can do on a rainy day, which is play cards. And Gabrielle, what I'm hearing is that Uno is getting a little more inclusive.
Yes, the popular card game is now selling an official Braille deck. The deck was developed with the National Federation of the Blind and is exclusively available at Target starting this Sunday. So we all got some Uno cards right here. This is actually my family's favorite game to play. We have a special Harry Potter deck of cards, and anytime the 5 of us are all together, we have to sit down and play a game of Uno.
Now look, I do think this is a very cool idea because Uno is obviously a very highly visual game, and I think that this is a great innovative way that they've been able to bring in more people to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic game. I feel like everyone plays it as a kid, so now they're making that even possible for even more people.
Certainly. Well, we're going to play some Uno now, but that's all the time we have for you tonight. I'm Gabrielle Caracciolo.
And I'm Conor Wight. Have a great night, Syracuse.